Welcome to Development Book Club. Today we are finishing the meat of boundaries. In the last actual chapter, aside from the sort of a bookended parable that begins and ends the book, today is chapter 15, how to measure success with boundaries. So we've talked a lot about them, how to set them up, and now it's a question of like, well, how can we measure and know if we're doing a good job or not? There are 11 steps, and we'll go slowly through them, quickly through them. Number one, resentment. You will begin to feel resentment in your body towards, it could be actually anger or frustration or resentment, so it's a negative emotion, but these are actually a sign that you'll feel these toward both the subtle and not so subtle violations in your life that you now recognize as boundary violations. Number two, step two, is you'll realize, or you will notice a change in tastes in yourself. For example, so you'll be drawn to people who are boundary lovers, or people who have responsible, mature boundaries. As we maintain healthy boundaries, we will become attracted to people who can hear no from us without being critical. And in these relationships, we find permission to be honest, authentic, and loving, and not afraid, really. Step three is joining the family. So the idea here is that we either begin growing in boundaries in our present relationships, or we'll find new attachments to invest in, or both. So we will have much more healthy boundary relationships, especially with our families. Number four is treasuring our treasures. So this is the idea that with poor boundaries, especially growing up, we don't really value ourselves and our talents because we don't really have a clear sense of self if there's no, especially physical boundaries at the layer of the skin even. And we'll find that as we grow up and develop boundaries, we will begin to realize that our talents and our treasures are unique and special. Number five, practicing baby no's. So we've talked about this before, and this is the idea to start with the smallest things with safe people if it's really a fearful thing for you. And the idea here is that true intimacy in relationships is only built around the freedom to disagree. That is, if not, it's a master-slave relationship. So start easy and work to difficult if that's where you're at. Number six is this idea of rejoicing in guilty feelings. Because again, if we feel the sense of guilt, this is an indicator that we're transitioning. We are becoming boundary, the authors say. So when you feel guilty, that could actually be a really good thing because it's a change in you and you're standing up for yourself and setting a boundary and a limit, an expectation, and holding firm to it. Number seven, practicing grown-up no's. So this is kind of a little bit further than step five. So the idea here is to identify your number one boundary buster, which is the person in your life that most violates your own boundaries, or that you allow to do it to you, right? And the goal here is not to finally tell mom off or say no to dad for the first time, but really the target here is maturity and to be able to have a mature conversation and to be firm and respectful to these people in your life if you choose to continue a relationship with them. Number eight is to now, once it's been a while, we rejoice in the absence of those guilty feelings. So over time, that guilt that we might have felt a step ago will actually subside. This is a good, mature sign. Number nine is really coming to love the boundaries of other people for two reasons. First of all, this confronts our own selfishness and omnipotence, acknowledging that other people have the right to their own boundaries. As well, number two, it also increases our capacity to care about others and to be empathetic as well for them. Number 10 is freeing up our no's and our yeses. The idea here is that we want to first be firm and then relax over time, or you can relax first and try to tighten up. The first one is a lot easier. And the idea here is that when you are as free to say no to a request as you are to say yes, you're well on your way to healthy boundaries. And we talked about this in nonviolent communication, that a request, if it's a true request, there's no anger when the person declines to follow through. A really cool sign of maturity to point out is that when you're unsure in something, so when you're unsure and that default becomes a yes, it's usually somebody with unhealthy boundaries. And if you're unsure, the default becomes a no to a request. That is a sign of a person with healthy, mature boundaries, which is step 11. That mature boundaries will lead to value-driven goal setting so that we have like an opportunity and a time, we take the time to have periodic reflection of our life, set goals, and this is a great fruit of having mature boundaries. That you are able to take time for yourself and not constantly pulled in a million directions to meet the requests of other people. And that is the end of boundaries. We'll check in next time to give a little bit of analysis of what I thought the authors did really well and where I think they can improve. Thanks for watching.